Hey, good morning, guys. Doing some work on the F250. Well, actually last night I pulled it in and got it out here, and the AC blower motor has not been working on it, and it started going in and out, and then eventually quit working altogether. So there's some videos on YouTube about, and Jeremy Meacham over in Alabama first tipped me off to it because he loves some F250s. So there's this resistor that controls the motor, I guess, or has something to do with the selector and assigning the different voltages through the selector. I guess passes through the resistor, and that's how it controls the speed. But this thing is bad. There's a pin out, and you ohm out the across three sets of pins, and there's some certain specs that you should be seeing on it, and this one's out of spec on every one of them, so which would explain why it doesn't work on any of the speeds. So it's getting hot now, and I have to do something about it, and about ready to make a road trip. So we're working on that. I was going to show Martin, I think it's Texas Gun Guy, pretty sure that's his title. I traded some emails with him, talked to him on the phone. We were going to do some swapping out on some parts here to get this thing going, and I attempted to weld this. You can see it's cast, and it's a really, I beveled it out and did some weld prep on it, but it wasn't welding too good, so I wasn't comfortable with it. So I was going to make a replacement. But Martin, this is the bracket that bolts to this deck here on the head, and then the motor bolts to this. So if you got that and you want to work something out on bringing it over and help me get it going, I'll be glad to trade something out or pay you something or whatever. If not, I'm gonna make one. I've already bought the plate to make one, and that'll be a Metalwork Monday video coming up pretty soon, assuming that it doesn't work out with Martin. So I wanted to show that. Also have one other kind of interesting thing here I was working on last night is this is the motor here that was actually, this motor is a 5 horsepower. I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but it says 1 there, and then and then HP, and then 5. That's upside down, I know. But when I thought this motor was bad. This came off of the old air compressor, and when I looked at it, I thought it said 1 horsepower. So I went and bought another motor. This is about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, and I bought a 2 horsepower motor. Put it on there, and it never did run it very well. It was always seemed like it was really struggling, especially as the air pressure built up and got over 100 psi, and a lot of times it would trip the breaker on the motor, and it eventually killed that motor, or it, something's wrong with it. But so as it turns out, let me turn this around where you can see. The 1 there is for the single phase, and the horsepower, yeah, that's 5 horsepower motor. So that's why a 2 horsepower motor couldn't run that compressor very well. So as it turns out, there was actually nothing wrong with that motor, and we're going to put it back on there. So had to press that pulley off because it got rusted from being outside. You can see I had to do a little rigging right there to come up with a fixture to be able to press that pulley off of there. So anyway, that's what we got going on over here today at the Old Barn Homestead. Hope you guys are doing good. Appreciate all the comments on the video yesterday. It means a lot. I appreciate what you guys do, and all the support, all the encouragement, and it's been awesome to take you along and show you just kind of what's happening day to day. Even though day to day, like today, stuff is boring. It's just messing around, piddly stuff. Anyway, I was going to show you another video. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm always looking for things that inspire me. Things that when you see somebody else doing something, it's like, if they can do that, then surely I can do all this. So take a look at Hannah's Bug. She looks like she's about 12 years old, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. She's doing a complete restoration on a VW Beetle, and she's the only one in the video. She's cutting, grinding, doing body work, minimal tools, a lot of Harbor Freight tools, working outside. So if she can do all that at that age, yeah, then we can all do all this. So, and you don't always have to have the perfect tool or the right whatever. You know, I mean, if you're saying, oh, I can't make videos because I don't have a nice tripod or, you know, a nice DSLR camera, you know, so, well, I can't make videos. Well, yeah, really, you can make videos. You can make, I'm making this video on my iPhone. Get out there and make videos. Show us what you're doing. So, sorry about that. I didn't mean to go on a rant there. I was just going to show real quick. Made a decision to move the starter for the motor, which is still sitting right here, this big heavy bastard, for the dust collector. Move the starter inside. This was going to go outside, and this is the receiver for the remote. And as you guys know, metal buildings and remotes and, you know, RF signal going through metal buildings does not exactly work well. So so we got this mounted and wired in here on a, what is that? This is a 20 amp, I think, style breaker, like a little AC you know, like an internal AC or whatever, 20 amp style. So we're all set there. I had the electrician come. This box is already ran and had a different outlet in it, and this was going to be originally for the KMG grinder, but I ended up moving it down here and using one of these other plugs. I know we got a traffic jam in here of stuff. We're going to get all this straightened out and organized. But anyway, just showing you a little bit about what was going on. You know, nothing major. Got to get this truck going and get it out of here. I'll put the link down. Check out Hannah's Bug. Talk to you guys.